Hello. Russell, we have a visitor.
Yay, Russell! How are you? How's your morning been?
Pretty relaxed.
So what's the first thing you thought about this morning?
I wanted to go back to sleep, but Russell had started to attack a possum. A baby possum we found outside.
Is he okay?
We don't know. We have rescued him and he's in a box, but he's very small and we're not exactly possum care experts. So we're going to wait till the vet opens and then head there and see if we can get this possum saved. But Russell's been in a frenzy all morning because Russell, as you can see, is a born killer.
Who was the last person you text?
My sister last night went to the movies. Texted her about Downton Abbey movie and dinner.
What's your favourite emoji?
The eye roll emoji.
Congrats on the pregnancy news. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. A little bit over it. I don't love pregnancy. I know some women really enjoy it. I feel a little bit sort of a bit sheepish saying I don't enjoy it, in that I know some women struggle and can't have children, so I feel grateful for that.
So what do you miss the most since becoming pregnant?
Probably running and it just feeling easy. I'm still running a little bit, not a huge amount, but it's not particularly enjoyable. I don't have severe pain, but yeah, it's a bit of a struggle.
Do you think you'll make a return to racing?
Yeah, definitely. Really looking forward to racing in 2020. Not quite sure what that'll look like yet. Trying to not make too many plans because it sounds like you can't really plan with a baby, but I'll definitely be racing somewhere.
What was your favourite character as a child?
I really loved Anne of Green Gables. I read all those books. So that fictional character from the books were, I don't know, probably written about 100 years ago, set in Prince Edward Island in Canada. So I loved Anne of Green Gables.
Sweet or savoury?
Sweet.
What household chore do you hate the most?
I actually don't mind cleaning. That's not very cool to admit. I hate unpacking the cutlery basket from the dishwasher.
Do you remember your first triathlon?
Yes. It was a kids' triathlon, Bribie Island in Queensland.
So what's your favourite triathlon related memory?
2004 was the first year I sort of seriously raced on the ITU World Cup circuit. I was with the AS team and I just was racing way above my expectations, so every race was great. I was having success. It was a hot French summer. I was rooming with Rinny. It was just fun and I was racing well. So.
What's your worst habit?
I'm late. I'm often late places.
Aiden or Mr. Big?
Oh, Mr. Big.
What's something that you've never tried?
I've never tried bungee jumping.
What's Russell's greatest quality?
Oh, he's such a cuddler. He's so affectionate. And he's obviously a very good guard dog too.
How did you meet your best friend?
I don't have a one sole best friend. I have a few very good or a few best friends. And probably two of them I met through the sport. And one living with, we're both new to Melbourne. We had no friends. I think we sought each other out of desperation, and a shout out to my Irish Australian friend Nettie. The other, Rinny and Liz, I met through triathlons.
Movies or music?
Music.
What's the weirdest thing you've been asked in an interview, not counting this time?
I think I was still in uni. I wasn't really a carer, but an elderly gentleman who had lost his wife and he was in his late 80s, and he sort of just needed someone to come along and cook him some dinner, open his mail, make sure it was all right. So I went a couple of hours each day and did that. His name was Dr. Sapsford, and when I sort of went to meet him one day, I had been training and he must have asked me how I got there or something, and I said I rode, and he's like, "Oh, is your horse tied up downstairs?" So that's quite weird. I guess he just wasn't down with women riding bikes that much.
If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
I'd probably start going on a rant about climate change and anti-vaxxers. I feel quite strongly that those things, there's just one right opinion. There's not it's not really for debate. Vaccinate your children, and climate change is real.
Can you juggle?
No, not well. I've got terrible hand-eye coordination.
Who do you think is the most underrated triathlete on the circuit?
Actually, I don't pay a huge amount of attention to ITU anymore, but I guess I've started to a bit more this year. Maybe it's with not racing as much. And I was really surprised by Jessica Learmouth, the British girl who, she's, very solid, very good athlete who clearly got world championship medals, and she seems to, not seek out the limelight. I don't know you, Jessica, but you seem underrated.
Who do you like racing the most?
It's probably more like the type of person that I like to race than a particular person. I guess someone who'll, just a pretty sort of honest racer who'll, just go out there and give it a good crack.
Should we head to the kitchen?
Sure. Would you like a cup of tea?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Are you making yourself one?
I am.
Perfect.
Or a coffee. Would you like a coffee?
All right, I'll have a coffee.
Okay.
Burgers or tacos?
That's a tough one, but I would say burgers.
If you had the chance to interview anyone in the world, who would it be?
Maybe Elizabeth Warren, just with the US, presidential elections coming up, and here I'm going to go on a rant again too, hoping the US get a change in president because it really affects us all. She's one of the people in the running, so just being a female and being as well credentialed as she is, and I'd be interested to chat to her.
So what 2 questions do you think you'd ask her?
I'd probably ask her, I think in this day and age with there's so much noise out there, and there are so many things that we need to challenge, it sometimes feels a little insurmountable or where to start. I guess for being a involved, sort of interested, responsible sort of citizen, and not just citizen of the US, but for the world, like what in her opinion are small things we can do, and then also, does she have a voodoo doll of Trump?
What's your favourite thing about triathlon?
The nature of it, the 3 sports, that it's really challenging to get all 3 sports going well at the same time. So that challenging aspect is something that I like. But also, if something's not going well, usually one of the other 2 will be going well. So it's sort of nice to have that also.
So what's your least favourite thing then?
The least favourite thing would probably be related to that. To feel really good riding and to feel really good running or feel really good swimming, often it's when you're just doing that sport. So it can be a bit frustrating at times when, you just want to hop in the water and feel the water, or you want that sort of light, springy step in your run, but your legs are nailed from cycling and sort of vice versa. Ooh. I think it's around when my sister was born. So I would have been 4. I'm 4 years older, just 4 years older than her. And my grandmother came to visit. And I don't really remember my sister being born or seeing my sister or anything about her. But I remember my grandmother she bought me a present and she took me out to lunch for a toasted cheese sandwich and hot chocolate. So I guess that sort of says something about me, maybe like quite just focused on myself, sorry Laura, and just interested in food.
What's a skill that you wished you had?
I wish I had better Excel skills, better IT skills in general.
So what's a secret skill that you do have?
I'm quite a good window cleaner actually.
In what situation do you hate waiting?
I hate waiting on the phone for IT support.
So in what situation do you not mind waiting?
Ooh. I actually don't mind waiting, provided I don't have anywhere to go in, waiting rooms at physios or doctor's appointment for doctors, because I secretly love gossip magazines.
What's one thing you do that drives your partner crazy?
He's never said it drives him crazy, but I'm sure it does. So I've got this thing with the dishwasher that why would you fill up the dishwasher with Tupperware when often the Tupperware doesn't come out dry? Or why would you fill it up with big pots and pans? Because then you have to run the dishwasher more frequently. So yeah, I will sometimes remove the Tupperware or the pots and pans and wash them. And he's never said anything to me, but I just have this feeling that he's like, this is ridiculous.
So what does he do that drives you crazy?
Yeah, he leaves his towel, like on, after the shower, like on the bed or, and I am admittedly quite organised and tidy and clean and, he doesn't really like put folded clothes away in any hurry. Sorry, Nick.
What's something you'd like to have named after you?
Maybe like a dog shelter.
Who's your first famous crush?
First famous crush. I don't really remember having one, but I just would like to call out a famous crush because I think a lot of maybe women my age were watching, and I definitely know my cousin, watching Home Improvement, and they had a lot of like Jonathan Taylor Thomas posters in their room.
If you could be a member of any TV sitcom family, which would it be?
In that really old school show, Alf.
What would you stockpile if you found out they weren't going to make them anymore?
Many things, I'm sure, probably, but one that comes to mind is Darrelly Rocky Road.
What's one change you'd like to see in triathlon?
Oh, that's a bit hard. One change. I guess more room on race course for women to make just fairer racing with less interference from age group men, and it just would allow officials to control drafting better and just make it a probably more enjoyable race for everyone.
What's the worst bit of advice you've ever been given?
It was to do with a stress fracture once, many, many years ago. It was kind of like if I ran fast, it was better than I should just do small amounts of fast running than slow running. And the bone was already broken. Like, I just don't think any running was the answer. Yeah, no running was the answer.
So what's the best bit of advice?
The best bit of advice from my high school running coach and university running coach, Pat Clohessy, bit of a legend, shout out to Pat, was just to hasten slowly, be patient, trust your background. It really is focusing on yourself as opposed to external things, and there's just sort of a calmness with all of those things that really give you a sense of control with your racing, or even I would apply those things to life.
What's a lie you told recently?
We just came back from Bali recently. I think you could fly on the airlines internationally up to 26 weeks. I think, and I was under 26 weeks, I was maybe about 25. But she sort of asked me and she was looking at me quite sternly, and it was late at night, and I just could not fathom having any sort of delay at Denpasar Airport. I wanted to get out of there, and I told her that I was 18 weeks, and I don't even know where 18 weeks came from, but it's kind of like, I don't know why I actually lied. I just felt panicked.
What are you most scared of?
I don't like monkeys. I really don't like monkeys. I'm fascinated by them, but I don't like them. I do find them a little frightening.
Who's the funniest person you know?
Nettie, the girl I mentioned who I moved in with and we became very close friends, she's pretty funny. She can also be very serious. She's very driven, ambitious, but she's also very funny.
So who's the most serious person you know?
My dad.
What's been your biggest fangirl moment when you were the fangirl?
I think going on my first junior worlds trip when I would have been 17, it was a camp with all the elites, and yeah, I was pretty sort of blown away by who would have they been back then? Brad Bevan, Loretta Harrop. So
what's been your biggest fangirl moment when you were the star?
I'm not really the star of fangirl moments. I'm trying to think of a memory where it's just not my family.
That's actually a perfect answer.
I don't think I have one.
What's the best bit of technology?
Well, probably the ones I use the most are every day, like Garmin's and Quarks and things that sort of allow me to do my job.
So what's the worst or most annoying?
I don't know, I'm annoyed waiting for NBN. The internet in this house is slow.
Can you do any impressions?
No, sadly not.
In one word, how do you think your friends would describe you?
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to ask them.
So how would you describe yourself in one word?
I can't one word, but I can be quite serious and also not very serious. So I do oscillate between the two depending on what it's about or what aspect of my life it involves.
What's your go-to dance move?
I just like to, throw my hands up in the air, maybe the one hand, the two hands. I'm not really much of a dancer.
What makes you laugh uncontrollably?
It's probably just watching rubbish on social media or the internet where people have accidents, but I don't laugh once they get hurt.
What's the worst dad joke you've heard?
Why should you never iron a 4-leaf clover?
Why?
You don't want to press your luck.
Oh God. What is something that you should do but probably won't?
I should spend a bit of time studying this afternoon, but I probably won't.
Does toilet paper unroll on the outside or on the inside against the wall?
I think the outside.
Correct. What's something that you do with Russell that only other dog owners would understand?
Talk to Russell like he will talk back to me and understands entirely everything I'm saying to him.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Yeah, hopefully still really enjoying sort of being active and running and swimming. I'd like to do kind of some different type of events. I don't know what they are. Maybe lawyering. I guess being a mum. Filthy rich. No, I don't really think about that. But who would say no?
What are you currently obsessed with?
I've got into dog grooming actually a little bit. Got some clippers that we groom him with, but we've been watching quite a few little videos of tricks about apparently with a Jack Russell you don't want to use clippers. You're best to use a stripping knife because they should have a coarse coat and you want to just remove the top coat, not their coarse undercoat. So we've been going about it wrong, so yeah, I'm obsessed at trying to improve my skill in that area.
Who is the biggest celebrity you've ever met?
I haven't really met too many celebrities.
New York or LA?
LA.
Why?
I find New York a bit claustrophobic. A lot of people, small island. Yeah, LA.
If you were part of an iron distance team, who would you like on the team?
I would pick Daniela to ride the bike and I would pick Miranda to run. I guess I'm the weakest link swimming.
What's your favourite type of gin?
Hendrix.
Shoes or no shoes?
No shoes because it means it's hot.
Finally, should we go check on that little possum?
Oh yes, let's go have a look. Oh, he's having a sleep.